Are you serious? Are you serious? We have breaking news. We have breaking news. An American who's been in prison in Cuba for 5 years is being released. Alan Gross has been released from the Cuban prison, according to officials. Breaking news just now happening. Now, American Alan Gross has been released from Cuba after 5 years in prison and is on his way back to the United States as we speak. This has been confirmed by Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NBC News, and others. Now, the senior Obama administration official told Fox News that Alan Gross left Cuba on a U.S. government plane this morning. He's on his way. Mr. Gross was released on humanitarian grounds by the Cuban government at the request of the United States, according to the officials. So you know there had to be a deal, some type of a deal. Now, Alan Gross is Jewish, and so happy Hanukkah. It is a gesture by the Cuban government during this time of year, but it's more than that. President Obama is expected to speak about this around noon today, about the time our broadcast will begin. The release follows years of desperate appeals by Alan Gross's family. His wife, Judy, said earlier this year that she feared for his life, saying that he might do something drastic. Gross was arrested back in 2009 while working to set up internet networks for the island of Cuba, for its Jewish community, on a contract with the U.S. government agency for international development. So here he was, working for the United States government, setting up an internet system for the Jewish community in Cuba. And they arrested him and threw him in prison. Fidel Castro did. And from what I understand, he's lost most of his teeth. He's very frail. They put him in a solitary confinement for 23 hours a day. I mean, this is a man who has been very, very mistreated by the Cuban government. And what's amazing to me is that this can go on to American citizens and be abandoned, basically abandoned by their government. I mean, yes, we're getting him out, but it wasn't because we demanded Fidel Castro or his brother Raul to let this man go, an innocent man. Instead, we wait till there's a deal to be made, and that's what's happened. There's going to be a release. Do you remember when a few years ago there was missionaries that were shot down? Their planes were shot down by some Cuban nationals that were put in prison. Well, there's going to be a prison swap. And what's going to happen is there's going to be several of those prisoners are going to be released in exchange for Alan Gross. So once again, we have breaking news coming out of... I'm glad for Alan Gross. I'm very happy for him. I really am. And his family and his 2 daughters, and for the Jewish community. And I'm very happy for him. I'm very upset that still we have Pastor Saeed Abedini, who's rotting in prison right now in Iran. And I actually read a letter, his Christmas letter to the world from his tiny cell without even a window, with just air blowing in and a cold freezing him. So these, it's just atrocities that are going on here. The abuse, human rights abuse of American citizens around the world, and it continues to go on. But praise God, thank God, Alan Gross is coming home. And we want to get this breaking news to you right away. I want to thank my wife Heidi for rushing in here and letting me know this right away, as it just happened. I'll be back with more current world events, how they relate to Bible prophecy. We are truly living in the last days. Are you saved?